Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Appeal to Reason on Rumble and YouTube. Please give me a like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends if you enjoyed it. So, Kamala Harris isn't going to be in the news much longer. I don't feel like we're hardly going to hear from her. I don't think she's going to be very relevant in the coming years after she, failed so badly to beat Donald Trump. And this week, she's in some more heat because the campaign had to release a little bit of information. We don't have all of it yet, but according to FCC guidelines, they will have to, give all the receipts on what they spent money on eventually, and we're going to see the whole truth and the whole picture pretty soon. But what we have so far is pretty intriguing and pretty embarrassing for them, and pretty hilarious for someone like me. To see this, they blew through, $1 billion in less than 90 days. And the Daily Signal's got a pretty good video that really has a concise breakdown of what we know so far. So let's go ahead and watch that. And before I even hit play, just look at this. Look at it. If this is your grand strategy to become president, you're going to have Megan Thee Stallion come out in this weird blue suit costume, and you're just going to have, you're going to go with Megan Thee Stallion and twerk your way into the presidency. You are going to lose. I can tell you that right now. Okay. You paid a lot of money to political consultants who basically threw your money into the fireplace, and you could have just paid me a lot less money, and I would have told you straight up, you are going to lose. You cannot win on a strategy of celebrity endorsements and concerts and have very little to no policy on and platform to run on. And also, you, on top of that, you have a completely failed record. You come from California, you're massively liberal, you change basically all of your stances. You haven't really, spoken about your positions since you became vice president. And then 13 weeks before the election, you come out and you say, oh, I'm for fracking and I don't want to ban guns and all this stuff. And you expect people to believe you all of a sudden. And then also you've got the failed record as being vice president with Joe Biden, who has seen, the greatest inflation in history, or in the last 30 years anyways. And we've seen, the worst immigration policy we've ever seen in any country in modern history. And you expect to win off of concerts and celebrity endorsements. Interesting strategy. So let's go ahead and play this news footage from the Daily Signal.
What you just watched cost a few $1 million. You heard that right. Kamala Harris's campaign allegedly spent over $1 billion in 3 months, according to FEC filings, and is $20 million in debt. How is that even possible? Well, she spent over $20 million on celebrity endorsements, $15 million on event production, $12 million on digital media consulting.
So this $20 million, that's not even going to be paying for the concerts. That's just the endorsements themselves. And apparently it's reported that she spent $5 million on Megan Thee Stallion and $10 million on Beyonce. So that's $15 million right there. Anyways, let's keep playing.
Almost $4 million on a marketing agency that connects clients to social media influencers, $1 million to Oprah, $100,000 on the Call Her Daddy.
Look at this, $100,000 for this set. So I imagine this podcast, the Call Her Daddy podcast, they probably had almost all of this equipment already, and they just brought it. They just took it to DC from wherever they're located to set up in a hotel room. This setup that I have here was, I bought it off of just working overtime for like 7 weeks straight. I worked 60, 70 hours. It's not that hard to have a pretty decent setup. And you're going to tell me that cost $100,000? You guys really, I feel like you got swindled there.
and $450,000 a day to advertise on the Vegas sphere. The Washington Examiner reports the Harris campaign and its affiliated committees spent over $654 million on advertising from July 22nd to Election Day. Trump spent $378 million in that same period, which is 57% less. Even a DNC National Finance Committee member went on Fox News to say this about the exorbitant spending.
This is just an epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster.
Yet the Harris campaign is still asking for donations, even after her failed campaign. I mean, it's so bad, Trump is offering to pay the debts as a sign of desperately needed unity. Hindsight truly begs the question, was the candidate who burned $1 billion-sized hole in her campaign's wallet going to be able to solve America's economic crisis?
Yeah, I don't think she was ever going to do anything but increase the national debt by trillions. And people saw that. People saw right through it. She was not a serious candidate. We know that people in Washington, they're good at spending money, better than anybody. And they know how to waste money. We see, that people really didn't. There was a great quote that came out that someone, I forget who said it, but they said, apparently women buy milk and eggs more than they get abortions. So yeah, this really just shows how out of touch these DC establishment figures are. They really have no idea what, is important to people. They think that they can just, drive up the cost of living, the cost of housing. And, it doesn't matter to the rich people, because the rich people, they spend a small fraction of their money on these things. And they own their houses. They don't make mortgage payments. They have multiple houses so they're just seeing their investments go up, while people in the middle class who are scraping and, pinching every penny just to get by and see their lifestyle just diminish under 4 years of Joe Biden. And they think that they're just going to have celebrity endorsements and concerts, and everyone's going to show up to the polls. The people that show up to the polls are people that are angry, the people that their livelihoods depend on it. The people that, go to the concert just because they go to your campaign rally just because there's a free concert there. Those people don't care. They're just there for, the entertainment, and then they're going to go home and forget about you. And that's exactly what they did. This whole campaign was a great, experiment by the Democrat Party to see, what they could get away with. Could they get another puppet president? In 2020, it was a grand experiment. They said, okay, can we win by hiding Joe Biden in the basement and then just rely on, tons of mail-in ballots and, people going out and harvesting the ballots and everything in urban areas? And yeah, they got away with it then. But this election was completely different. They weren't able to build up, a million vote firewall in Pennsylvania before even election day in 2020. The Democrats had over 1 million more votes already, in hand by the time the election day came around on Tuesday. So yeah, it's a failed experiment. I'm glad that they failed, because these people really needed to lose, and they really needed to be taught a lesson. Like I said earlier in the video, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. But that's all I've got for you today.